Hello, it's Mr. Carroll here. Today I'm going to show you how to do a brush tool technique on Photoshop using a layer mask. Okay, so I'm just going to open up these two images in Photoshop. Okay, so this is the thing that I'm going to show you how to do today and the effect that I'm going to show you how to achieve. And we need to get our picture of a model. Okay, I'm just going to take that guide off quickly. We need to get a picture of the model or the picture that you want to use. And the first thing that we're going to do is actually duplicate that layer. So we're going to press Ctrl and J, and we're going to duplicate that layer. We're going to unlock the background layer by double clicking the padlock or just clicking the padlock, depending on how you got it set up. And then we've got two layers now to work with. On the layer 1, the layer above, I'm going to go to Edit and Fill, and I'm going to fill that with white. Now you can use your own color. You can use you can use any kind of color that you wanted. Really, it'd still work. But in this circumstance, I'm going to use white. So now we've got a white layer. Okay. The next thing we need to do is actually add a layer mask to that. So go ahead and add a layer mask. And the next thing we need to do is go to the brush tool, which is on your left hand toolbar, or you can press B on your keypad. Okay, so the options and the settings for the brush tool are up here. Okay, so we're going to click this little drop down menu and you have loads of different brush settings here. So we need to click this little cog, this little settings icon, and you need to scroll all the way down and find square brushes. Click square brushes and press OK when it asks you to replace them, and then select around number 18. The next thing we need to do is select this little icon here, which will bring out a window for us, which gives us loads of different tools to help us manipulate and change the way that our brush is going to look. So I'm going to be using shape dynamics and scattering. Okay, so that's going to scatter the brush, and it's also going to change the shape of the brush. So first of all, I'm going to add some scatter. So I'm going to break that brush up a little bit. I'm going to keep the count down low, and I'm just going to keep that jitter off as well down low. So the shape dynamics, I'm going to add some size. Also, I'm going to add some angle, so I'm going to change the angle so it's a little bit more random and not so uniformed. And the trick is to just work with these two until you get something that you're really happy with. Okay. Once you've got something that you're happy with, and you can see in this preview window, just click this little button here, and then we're ready to use this brush. We can resize it by using the square bracket tool. So we can resize it to a size that we want. Then we need to make sure that we are working on the layer mask. Okay, so we've got this one selected, and we need to make sure that we've got the black foreground layer selected on our brush tool. So you can change that by pressing this button here, and you can also do it with X on the keypad. Once all those are correct, make sure your opacity is at 100, and then we can start adding this brush tool to our image. Okay, once you are happy with your brush tool and your layer mask, there is one more thing that we can do just to give it a little bit more, basically just make it stand out a little bit more. And if we can make sure we've got our layer mask selected, we can click this little FX button here. Now if you select blending options, it should bring out a window. So in this window, right at the bottom, there is an option to give this layer mask a drop shadow. So if you click that and then select it, you will see that it gives it almost brings it out a little bit with the drop shadow. Now we can change that with all these options here. So we can change the angle of the drop shadow, we can change the distance, and we can change the spread. and the size. Okay, so if we add a bit of that, and there we have it, and that's how we can use the brush tool to create this interesting effect.